In this video, we're going to take a look at a training aid that I got from former U.S. national coach Toshi Yoshida. And we've got the 18-1 players working with some foam sticks. And I'm demonstrating to the 18-1 players how to pin these sticks underneath their armpits by rotating their upper arm. And by rotating their upper arm out, it's going to help pin these sticks, and it's also going to force the players to move their body behind the ball. And then by continuing to rotate their upper arms as they present their platform to the ball, it'll present a very flat platform, and then they can make their move into the ball like this, but only as far to keep the sticks pinned under their arms. So there's some motion they can have there, but not an extreme amount of motion. So again, rotating their upper arms to pin the foam sticks under their arms, and then continuing to rotate to present their platform, pushing at the ball like that, and then returning back to their body is what's being demonstrated there. Here we're going to take a look at a couple players in a drill using the foam sticks. And you can see the players moving. They're forced to move their body to the ball, and then if the ball's short, it forces them to move their hips down to the ball like that to keep the same relationship between the ball and their platform. And again, this player is having to move her body to the ball more directly because of the foam sticks underneath her arms, and down to the ball like that. Now we're going to take a look at some slow motion video, and here we're going to key on the player's upper arms as she is moving to play this ball. You can see the angle of her arms. Her feet are going to move to the ball. She gets behind the ball, then extends her arms down. You can see her hips are down, her torso is up, her arms have extended, and now she's going to move into the ball. And this move into the ball is going to help take the ball up and also give it direction to the target. You can see here that the ball is contacting midway up her platform. I think that's also going to help slow the ball down a little bit. And then you'll see her arms come back into her body. And I think bringing the arms back into the body under control also helps move the platform into the ball initially. So now with those keys, we're going to play this video in slow motion, and you can see the player has the sticks pinned underneath her forearms. It's going to help her move her body down to the ball or around the ball, and then she's making a move into the ball with her platform, and then returning her platform back to her body. When the ball takes a player low, it's going to help them get their hips down, as it does in this example here, but still keep their torso up and then go into the ball. Here we're going to take a look at this player and the angle of her torso as she moves to the ball. So she starts off in about a 45 degree. That's got her hips loaded so she can move, but her head up so she can see. And here she's going to move to this ball. And you're going to see her hips go down. At the same time, her platform extends. Hips are taking her down to the ball. I really like this move. And then her platform goes into the ball to help give the ball direction. And then her platform recovers back to her body. One of the things this player does that I really like, you can see how her feet are staggered. Her right foot is forward near the right sideline. This is going to keep her hips and shoulders open to the target as she's moving to try and get behind these balls, and then moving her platform into the ball towards the target. On this split screen view, we're going to take a look at two players making similar moves to the ball. These balls will be moving the players towards the sideline. And the player on the right is going to be showing you a big stride out here towards the sideline. One of the things we want to try and do is get players to move their feet in such a way that they play the ball in between their feet and in between their shoulders. The player on the left is going to be an example of something that I see very common in players. You can see her hands are actually going to the ball first, whereas the player on the left went to the ball first with her feet, and the player on the right is going to the ball first with her feet, and now you can see the blue line. The player on the right is moving her center towards the ball. and the ball is more going towards her left knee. The player on your left strided out, but now her hands are going towards the ball. And you can see her hands right now are already outside the green line, which is outside her foot, and you can see her hands are going first and her head is going towards the ball second, and her belly button or core, her center, has not moved towards the ball yet. The player on your right strided out with her feet, and then her hands are going to the ball at the same time. Her center, her spine, or her core are moving towards the ball. So it's a very different looking move, what's happening on your right than what's happening on your left. And I think that what's happening on your right is how we want to really teach players how to go to the ball. Want to try and play the ball in between your feet, then in between your shoulders, and then if the ball is still outside your body, then angle towards the ball. The player on your left, her feet stopped early, the ball got outside of her knees, and then she went to the ball with her hands first and then her head. And you can just look at the blue lines and the difference between what's happening with the player on your left compared to the player on your right. If we teach our players to do what's happening in the frame on your right, what it's going to do is it's going to extend the range of every player. It's going to get them moving their body more towards the ball first, and then if the ball is still outside of their shoulders or outside of their feet, then they can angle the ball towards the target. I think what the player on the left is doing, it's not that it's wrong, it's that I think it's in the incorrect sequence, and because she makes a very good move here, even though the ball is outside her shoulders and her feet, she does present a nice platform angle to the ball right here, as does the player on your right, but it's a very different looking move. And then you can see both players do a nice job of keeping their shoulders and platform facing the target and then shaping their body towards the target. So they're both good moves. What the player on the right exhibited, I think, is the sequence that we want to try and teach players to play the ball in. And now we're going to run this again in slow motion so you can see it without any of the lines. You can see the player on the right making the move to the ball with her body. The player on the left is actually going to the ball first with her platform. And I think we can teach what's happening with the player on your right as the first sequence. Here we're going to take a look again, and you'll see how the player is trying to surround the ball with her feet, then surround the ball with her platform, so that her platform is facing the target on contact, but her platform is in between her feet and in between her shoulders when she contacts the ball. We'll look at that move again. Trying to surround the ball with her feet, trying to surround the ball with her shoulders, and that's going to help shape her platform, have it face the target on contact, and then you can see how she continues to try and face the target as the ball comes off her platform, but she was behind the ball as she contacted it. Here we're going to watch a series of moves, and there's a couple things I want you to watch. Of course, we're going to try and watch the player surround the ball with her feet, and then surround the ball with her platform. Here the ball gets outside the player's right foot. It even gets outside of her shoulders, and she is facing the target as she contacts the ball and then continues to move her body in such a way that it's facing the target after it contacts her. Look at the footwork here, and you'll see a lot of short, very quick moves with her feet to try and be very precise. Here she gets the ball in between her feet, in between her shoulders. You can see the right foot is dropped slightly, so her body is facing the target on contact, and she continues to face the target after the ball comes off of her platform. So again, quick, precise footwork, lots of little steps, taking her hips down, trying to play the ball in between her feet, in between her shoulders is optimal, facing the target, and pushing the ball with her platform towards the target. Again, watch the quick footwork, A lot of quick little steps. This ball's taking her back to her left, and you can see she's trying to get the ball in between her feet and then in between her shoulders, and got her shoulders and platform facing the target on contact. As the ball comes off of her move, as she's pushing the ball, you can see her continuing to try and shape her body towards the target even after it's come off her platform. So I think good examples here of the sequence of the passing and defensive moves that we want players to try and understand. We can try and surround the ball with our feet and then surround the ball with our platform as often as we can. We're going to be making much more consistent moves into the ball. If, as players try and do that, like in this case, the ball gets outside of her feet and outside of her shoulders, now she's angling the ball more towards the target, which is fine, but she tried to surround the ball with her feet first. She tried to surround it with her shoulders, and then she ends up angling and pushing the ball towards the target. Totally fine, but we want to try and do this in the sequence of surround the ball with your feet, surround the ball with your shoulders, and then push the ball towards the target. And there she's doing a nice move, dropping her hips down, keeping her shoulders up. And you can see all these very quick footwork moves that she's making during these passing moves. I think quick, short moves with your feet are best to help try and surround the ball there with your feet and your shoulders, and then push it towards the target. Again, nice, short, quick moves here. Even though the ball takes her back, she doesn't open up and face away from the target. She actually tries to shape her body towards the target. So there's no spinning, there's no rotating of the body. It's movement trying to face and shape towards the target like that as often as we can.